Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but whatever it is, I think it's registering on my phone because my patience is just really thin. I'm getting mad at the dogs. And what should be like a nice little walk, it's not going to end up like that. Put the asses back in the car, and then hope tomorrow will be a better day. Okay? She keeps running after people. Look what I found. She keeps running after people. Some people, they really don't like that. She's just busy just doing things. And it's just so much work for me that I just get tired. And I'm even starting to wonder, do I really have the resources and the energy for this puppy? I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not. So, let's talk about something else. Look, there's Daffy Duck. The ugly duckling. Oh. Oh yeah. So did y'all hear about how they're gonna like discontinue the penny? Yeah. The penny is not gonna be acceptable money anymore. They're gonna archive the penny. Because nothing costs a penny anymore. And I guess once they do that, I guess that's going to disempower Aries. Because Aries is supposed to be known as the one. The one. Right? And that's what picking up this dollar made me think about. I was like, oh yeah, money. And then it's like, oh yeah, the penny. The penny's going to be discontinued. Right? So my mind immediately went to the thought that, well, whose face is going to be on the new dollar bills that they create? Right? Because the whole thing behind these global wars, is to have the highest value money on the planet. Right? So if everybody admires America, everybody wants to come to America, they value America, therefore the dollar becomes more valued than any form of currency on the planet. And it used to be like that for America, it did. It's not like that right now. Look at this dude. I know he's not thinking about playing baseball with my puppy. Anyway, the fuck make me go into beast mode? Yeah. Only I can get mad at him. Not some weird ass fucking ass drunk motherfucker doped out of his motherfucking head when he should be somewhere working a motherfucking job. Right? Walking around here with a baseball bat. I'll take a picture of him. And the bat is pink on top of that. See, those are the type of people that Trump says needs to be called the police on so the police could pick them up and take them to a mental institution for either reprogramming or imprisonment. You know, some people have to be in jail at the mental institution because they're that far gone. Look at that beautiful duty. It's a beautiful duty. My God, so pretty. See, look at that pretty doodle. It's a doodle. It's a doodle. Okay, so let's get back in the car because, you know, I ain't got the patience for none of these people till die. I don't. All right. Whew. I feel a little bit better. Just a little bit though. But I'm gonna ride around the lake. Cause I like to ride around. I like to ride around. When I first came down here, there wasn't that very many people down here. Now this parking lot is almost full. It is almost full. So there are more people down here than when I first came down here. Yep. So it's a little windy out there, but the wind feels really good. Temperature 78. Like I said, it's beautiful weather out right now. Although, you know, it was cooler in the morning. Oh my God, don't tell me this guy has to park out here and then walk way up there to go deliver a package. Yep, that's what he had to do. Which is weird, you know, that these people won't even let an Amazon truck enter into their driveway. Because some of these driveways, they're like 300 yards, half a mile long. Yeah, some of them are very long. So, I don't know. And people don't really even tip Amazon drivers. They don't really get a tip. I placed my order And it didn't say, do you want to leave a tip to your driver? Amazon drivers, they don't get a tip. Oh. I think I see two new, to me, doggy dishes. Hold on. Yeah, I got these big stainless steel doggy dishes right here. I don't know why I stopped to get them. But then I was looking at that rug too. The rug that's down there, it has tags and stuff on it. But it looks like it's old. I'm like, who would put rugs with the tags on them out like that? But anyway, we are not going to be trying to lift no heavy rug. No, we're not. So this will allow me to have doggy food inside and doggy food outside. Yeah. Or at least doggy water outside. Gracie, she's been chewing up all of the plastic containers that I was reusing from buying all of those huge ice cream containers for water and for planting. She's been tearing them up. She's been chewing on them, tearing them up. Yep. So she don't too much bite on steel too much. So she probably won't be biting those steel bowls too much. Now, you know, when she was just a little itty bitty dog, you know, I was giving her bowls, right? And the little bowls, and she was just pulling and tugging and tipping them over and stuff. That I bought her like a 2-container bowl, right? That she didn't pull on too much, just a little bit, but didn't tip it over. At least not enough to flip it. So, yeah. So, I was watching Evelina, the Russian woman, right? I was watching her, and she made something that, you know, made me wonder, you know, if I can try to put chicken breast in the food processor so that I can make like either ground chicken or, you know, chicken cutlets. And I'm gonna try to do that because it won't be like, you know, the traditional ground chicken, you know, that you stick it in and it comes out. But it will be grounded up enough to where, you know, it'll be soft and, you know, and you can make patties or meatballs or and if that's the case, you know, that's a whole game changer. So this guy was like, this is how go to Evelina's channel and she'll show you how she made these delicious chicken cutlets. And I'm like, okay. So I watched it, and I'm gonna try to make it. Well, I'm gonna try to ground the chicken the way she ground the chicken, and then I'll just make my own little patties, Uh-huh. Because even when I bought the Ninja food processor, right, I knew that they were saying it was a food processor, and I'm like, how is that really a food processor? What is it going to process? They're like, well, you can process some breads, and some meats, and I was like, right? So we'll see. We'll see. I did find an old packet of chocolate chips, right? And I'm like, these chocolate chips look dehydrated. So I put the chocolate chips into the blender, right? Because I'm thinking, okay, maybe I'll just have some chocolate powder. Anyway, it turned into chocolate frosty. And I was like, oh, I didn't know it was going to like reconstitute itself. So anyway, I ended up putting it into a bowl, adding some coconut oil and some water, and then dipping some pecans into it. So I do have a tray of chocolate covered pecans at the house, right? Because I wanted to make this guy keep going up against this fence with his little bike. Huh. That's what that noise is. He's jumping up against the fence with his bike. Oh, he was taking pictures of it too. So that was probably his platform content of him bicycle riding, hitting the fence and not falling down. Yep, probably. So, that's what I'm gonna do with the chicken. I'm gonna try to process the chicken to where I can make either some little cutlets or some little patties, because I do get tired of, just eating plain chicken breast the same way all the time. So this will give me a chance to switch it up a little bit. So that was what I wanted to do as far as making the turtles, right? Now that I have these pieces, these pecan pieces, dipped in chocolate, then I wanted to add the dollop of caramel, right? And then top it off with chocolate. Okay, because I want them to look like little turtles. I don't want them to look like pralines dipped in chocolate. I don't. Right? And it was hard So that half a bag of chocolate chips did not go to waste. It did not. Oh, and I also melted some, like 4 marshmallows in it too, right? To make sure that the frosting not only was like liquefied, but sticky. So I'm excited to see how they turned out today. I also bought some embroidery stabilizer paper for the sewing machine. So technically, between now and the end of the year, I should be able to do like some embroiderment. I'm thinking like doing some initials, you know, because even if I just learn how to do the initial C, you know, I can at least give, you know, a set of towels to both my kids because their first name begins with C also. And some chocolate. Or some pecans. Yes. That's if I keep on track with this planning. Right? Because actually, you know, it's almost like an impulsiveness that just makes me say, get up and do it. And I get up and do it. Right? It took me like watching like 6 videos. Right? And every last one of them said, it's so easy. It'll only take you 10 minutes. It's so easy. And then finally, there was this one lady, I don't know what it was about her energy that said, stop the video, go put the sugar and the butter in a pot and start the caramel process. And that's what got me the candy, the pralines. Okay? And I've been watching them make like caramel frosting, caramel fudge. Yeah, I've been watching these shows and it's been nice. It's been so much nicer than some of the shows that I was watching that was making me feel like pissed off and upset. Okay? But getting back to what I was talking about, can we please put my face on the next currency? You know, we don't have to use the old faces of Washington and them guys. We don't have to use their face no more. Benjamin Franklin. We don't have to use none of their faces no more. We don't. Right, because whose currency was that? I think Russia currency has his face on it. Chinese currency has his face on it. You know, but our currency, the face that we have on our currency, their history has been narrated so many different times that we don't even know what it stands for anymore. Just like we don't know what the national anthem stands for anymore. Right? So, like when black people were boycotting the national anthem, right? They thought, I don't know if it was, just ignorant Southern black men, but it seemed like they thought, this was the anthem about the Civil War between the South and the North. Right? That's an internal war. It's a civil war, internal, right? The national anthem was a war against England that was trying to dominate America the way England dominates all of these other countries, right? And we still trying to break loose of Britain's, influence and ties, because they really don't have nothing to offer us. They really don't. They can't give us no food. They can't give us the lifestyle that we want, because they want to pretend like what they offer is culture. Well, they're not giving us the culture that we want, right? Even though they may have these clothes and supposedly ballrooms, right? Well, they haven't even upkeep their culture anymore, right? The ballrooms, right? This is another topic that people are talking about. Why is Trump remodeling a whole big ass ballroom in the White House? Right? So I went online to figure out, well, what countries out there, have ballrooms as a part of their government. It's not that many. Right? And they definitely don't have like a common dance that all of these different countries that have ballrooms, subscribe to. Because even the dance that we call the ballroom dance today is a very sexualized and athletic type of dancing, right? And so then my mind was like, okay, so they're trying to like bring back the sense of culture through dance. That's understandable because they do that in Spain. Spain, you can go and learn the salsa dance in any neighborhood there, and they can do it for free. And people just love the fact that they're able to dance with another person and share some quality time with another human being. And they made it something cultural. Right? So then my mind was like, okay, well, what would we do? Would we do ball dancing? No, I don't think we would do ball dancing. Would we do like boots to the ground? Would we do that kind of dancing? I don't think so. I don't think so. With this dollar that I bought, not that I bought, that I found, I think I need to buy the doggies some more chews. Spend that dollar on some chews for them. They ran out of chews. They like the milk bones, okay. Not a lot, but they do like them. So yeah, even though I do get moody, right? Especially when I think things are like not the way that they should be, in this world, and definitely not the way that it would be in my world, right? Because after this lifetime, I'm definitely gonna have my own little world out there in the universe somewhere. And I'm starting to see, all of the these things that we have to be attentive to when it comes to, like running a whole society, not just running, your household, your business, but how to run a whole planet, and also delicate enough to where, people want to cooperate, right? I would not necessarily want to run a planet that I had to run, with a strong fist, or with bringing down the hammer all the time, because to me, if you have to bring down the hammer that, too much, then there's a breakdown somewhere in our society, right? And right now, the breakdown that they refuse to acknowledge and to admit is the breakdown that in the process of trying to give these guys, autonomy, they abused the autonomy in such a way that their autonomy looks like dependency, right? Because they're not offering anything, right? They're like, just gimme, I want, gimme. That's not autonomy. Autonomy has to deal with self-sufficiency, right? And yes, you do have to be self-centered enough to recognize what you need for self-preservation, but not to the point of being selfish, right? And when you're talking about a society that, is dedicated, to purposefully misunderstand, what they're being taught, what they're being told, what do you do then? Right? educated people were saying, no, they're just being obtuse. The neighborhood saying, oh, they just utilizing game. They playing games. They try to use game on you. And they're dedicated. They're dedicated into being this way. When you're dedicated into saying, there's no reason why I should have to work, and let me live my life begging, and yet you might be a very pleasant beggar, right? But what happens when there's a beggar out there who actually did harm, right? Like when I go to this Dollar Tree, right? So many people get accosted by the homeless people, right? That some of them feel like they were assaulted by them, but because of the way that they were talked to, because of the way that these guys, was demanding, payment, and yeah. And I think it was that behavior that caused them, that at one time they were feeling like sympathy for them. They were feeling a little bit sympathetic for them, compassion, and said, these filthy people, they really do need a bathroom and a place to wash their hands, And they tried to provide them, one of those porta potties, And I guess they didn't appreciate it because it's not there anymore. They picked it up. They took it and they picked it up. So let me go in here and try to get my dog some chews so they have something to chew on besides my shoes. Because I'm tired of them chewing on my shoes. So no, today I did not buy them any chews. I went in there and I remembered that I need to buy me some more hair ties. Yep, and that's what I bought, was some hair ties. Okay. So I'll go home and I'll give them some biscuits. Right? Now Lynn said that she had a whole great big old box of dog bones, that she'd been trying to give me, right? And I was telling her, no, Snoopy only likes those because you give it to her, right? And the only reason why she's eating them now is because Gracie is eating them. And Gracie be making everything look good. The way she be chomping down on that food, she makes it all look good. Okay? So every time Snoopy sees Gracie eating something, she got to go investigate, like, what's so good about what you eat? Right, because Gracie, she'll eat a piece of carrot and make it seem like it was the most delicious thing she ever ate. Yeah, Lord. So this morning I was a little late in taking my medication, and oh my God. I started feeling like somebody put a water helmet on my head and I couldn't breathe, and I was like, oh my God, is this going to be a problem? Right? was passed in the House. Because I didn't see it in my bank account. It could be in somebody else's bank account. Because you know how many times they talked about stimulus this and stimulus that, and yet the average person can only claim that, yeah, there's only 3 valid stimuluses. Right? And those stimuluses, if you add them all up, came to what, about $3,000? And they know damn well people can't live off of $3,000. And they purposely depleted American resources. And yet you guys are sitting up there listening to them, supporting them, and accepting their bullshit. Right? And this month, we definitely have a whole wave of people that lost their homes. A whole wave of people. I mean, there's only so much that you can do. Right? Yeah, you can say for a short time period you're going to do what you have to do, even if you have to work 5 underemployment jobs. But you can't keep doing it forever. Something's going to give somewhere. Hold on.